Hey,
Can you please tell me about yourself?
yes, thank you, Dr. Hemraj Dakal. Thank you for visiting me and my place in Prescott, Arizona. Today we are going to inaugurate, give a context to why we are developing a series, YouTube series, documentation series called Annapurna Abundance. I will be explaining that a little later. But as an introduction, I am Pramod Parajuli. I am a professor. I come from a very humble peasant family in the mountains of Nepal in Tanahu district. My village is called Kahu Sibapur. I will show you the photograph of my peasant household and where I grew up. That will give you a context. Since the very beginning, I began to think a little differently in terms of the world. Why am I here? The words that my family was a very literate family. Pandit, my father, Pandit Kedarnath, was an astrologer and a Pandit who could interpret Sanskrit text for the general public in Nepal. So, and my mother was a very wise woman, although illiterate at that time. That didn't mean anything. She was most wise and knew how to be a mother. She raised us very well, five boys and one girl. As the astrology in Nepal, we rely on astrology a little bit when a child begins to act a little differently. And they checked my astrology, and it said that the regular things in Nepal or this village will not apply to me, will not be relevant, and that I will be going to somewhere where the sun, when the sun will be rising in Nepal, the sun will be setting in my village. At that time, that was a big kind of upheaval because they had no idea of where that place is. And now we know exactly this is where it is because we are in 12-hour difference right here in Arizona, or California could also be applied. So what I begin to notice is that my mind was not into regular things like getting a job, becoming a secretary, although my academic performance was very high, top, first class first, but that didn't mean anything to me. But I began to pursue ideas that the core theme was what there is my father and teachers would teach me words, but I would begin to say, what is the world of this world? And just the difference is one L, right? WRLD, WRD. I think that set me apart from the rest of the most of the Nepalese who just wrote memorize to get get your exam done, pass the oh the plane is just hovering in front of ahead of on top of us. Yes. So I will show you later which window. And one of the key events that happened, as I remember, in that village is that I was surrounded by Annapurna, which the mountain Annapurna range, all around my house, and I began to look up to her as an inspiration. And later on, we will explain why and why the Annapurna abundance could be the future pathway for as a Nepali contribution to the whole world. And I got possessed by Goddess Annapurna, the goddess of fertility, when I was about 4 and 5, in the middle of the cornfield. And I was like, why did it happen to me? And when the COVID crisis began in 2020 and the climate, I began to realize, I know why I was possessed by Annapurna in that mountain village. I need to do something to address the problems and the crisis uh, created by the climate and the coronaviruses, which I will talk more in the second, third, or other segments. So then I eventually, because my ideas became too new and too sometimes dangerous for that system at that time, the monarchical system. So I had to find a way to come to America and be a professor, as I was advised by someone from America that your ideas are not acceptable right now, but if you get a PhD, become a professor and well known in the world, then you can handle it. And I am precisely at that moment where I don't have any fear, only I can now very bravely, let's say, or clearly present what my view of the world is. So in between, I went to Stanford for my PhD, where I did education, anthropology, and that led me to ecology. After that I graduated Stanford University in 1990. So it has already become about 33 years. During that period, I went to several parts of the United States to teach as a professor of anthropology, education, now sustainability, and now regenerative studies. That's what I do now. It's called regenerative studies, regenerative learning, and regenerative leadership or stewardship and care, which I will show later on. So during this period, I was also fortunate to travel far and wide, many countries in South America, even Tasmania, even New Zealand, Tanzania, India, of course, where I did my PhD research, England, Germany, France, Brazil, and all over the United States. So, as I was wanting in my childhood, the words that I was reading in the libraries of Stanford and Berkeley, I could also see those in the real world, in the ocean, in the forest, in the rivers, among the people, in the food, which became a big area of focus for me later on. So basically, after graduating from PhD, traveling all over the world and teaching at Syracuse University, also University of Iowa, Syracuse University, Lewis and Clark College, Portland State University in Oregon, then Prescott College, then now I am in Southwestern College in Santa Fe, New Mexico. In all these, what I did, I not only taught the subject that I was given by the university, I began to develop transdisciplinary programs, graduate programs, and that I did in Syracuse, I did at Portland State University, and also a doctoral program at Prescott College and a new doctoral program at Southwestern College, and it is named doctoral program on visionary practice and regenerative leadership. And this is the newest version of the innovation in program development. I'm very happy about that, because by doing this, I can bring much more wider perspective and transdisciplinary. And in that new program that I helped develop from day one, I will be teaching a particular course called regenerative leadership, and I will have another video, probably several videos about what I bring there as a response to what is happening with climate, the economy, the ecology, the COVID. All that will be explained there. So that's where I am. This is my farm, kind of ranch, mini ranch, ranchita as they call it. This is the house that I bought in 2010. So it has already been 12 years I have been here, and this 10 acre of just pure wilderness is what I call home. And many people think, don't I feel alone here without other people? I absolutely don't feel alone. The grass, the trees, the birds, the cloud, the butterfly, the coyotes, the rabbits, all are my species, friends, collaborators. So I am absolutely at home here. And also online there is an article. It is called At Home in Prescott. So if you search my name, Pramod Parajuli, and comma, At Home in Prescott, it will take you there. And it explains my life way up to now, about 10, 15 confluence of streams, what makes me now at this point. Let me start.